OMG, are you like totally serious? Hi everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Noise Talk.
Okay, we're
Brain fart.
The Last of Us 2 by Naughty Dog, and this time around it's been directed by Neil Druckmann. How the game
Impacted our lives.
How does it impact your life during that short stint of gameplay? I finished it twice. You finished it once.
I didn't finish it,
but you took your time though.
Yeah, I did.
I wasn't really on Facebook or social media in this first few days after it was released because I just don't wanna spoil too much of it.
Yeah.
And then aku ternampak like people like marah shit aku macam apa hal ni. So and then I got the game and then I played it and then you know quarter way through the game and then I got it and then I realized okay aku faham kenapa orang marah. So we're gonna talk a bit about the story, the character development and also the overall gameplay experience. So what do you think of the whole story first?
Well,
I mean, continuing from the first game, of course. I mean, because I am fully invested in the first game. I thought it was a very because the first game is all about the relationship between Joel and Ellie. And then it continues to this, and we're invested in their relationship. And then there's a bit of a dorang gaduh-gaduh, so we're like wondering what the hell. So yeah, what do you think?
I was pretty impressed and conflicted at the same time.
Okay.
And to my surprise, itu disengajakan. You know, the game really wanted you to feel conflicted
And
angry sampai tahap like
and confused.
And
I was
it became meta. Like you were supposed to be angry with the story, but you were angry at the games and the game developers and the actual people behind it. So actors behind it got death threats. That's
terrible.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So I was playing it, right? And then spoiler alert, Joel died. Or for you it's Joey. Joel died, right?
Hashtag Joey.
Yeah. and I was like, I think like most other gamers and streamers out there, when the moment that golf club hit his head, Abby just swung a big one on him, and then you can see blood splattering, and then Ellie just screamed and all that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait. Quarter way through not even quarter way through the game, and I'm like, okay, and you killed Joel.
Yeah. I wanted to press square, you know.
And I was
come
like,
on.
Is that it? I mean, is he dead? And then we went to his funeral, and I was like, that's it. Joel died.
That's it.
As a player, now you're playing as Ellie. You're on this revenge journey, lah, kan? In Seattle. At that time, I was fully on Ellie. I was on her side no matter what. They killed Joel. She wanted to kill them. And I wanted to kill them. As a player, I wanted to kill them. I wanted to kill this Abby. And blah blah blah. Abby overpowered Ellie. She left because Lev told them, okay, let's leave him alone. And then aku kena main jadi Abby. Masa tu aku macam, I don't want to play as this person. Okay, you were saying about how they deliberately do that. I mean, what do you think?
They play around a lot with this whole meta thing, where I think...
Could you explain that a bit?
Meta means it's like the story is aware that it's a movie, or it's aware that it's a bit silly. It's aware sometimes yang paling obvious is breaking the fourth wall lah. But this is like meta is like you're not really breaking the fourth wall directly, but indirectly. It's like the world acknowledges the world outside of it. You know, for instance, like if I think the game knows that it's a sequel, and the game knows that people would expect that they would play Joel like the first game.
Exactly. I wanted to play as Joel because we played as Joel from the first game.
So it's that combination of your attachment and your expectation of the sequel that, and then it's like screw you,
and then
screw you,
and then Joel just
die. So
he only appears in flashbacks, like 2 or 3 flashbacks.
So they manipulate you. They took that and used that to your own advantage, which is basically, as a writer, that's your job. Our job is to manipulate.
So you thought they did a good job on that?
Really great job to manipulate. I mean, storytelling is biased in general, so they did a great job at trying to tell their vision lah. And I like you, I was like screw Abby, screw Abby.
I wanted to lose
play
as Abby as much as I can. And
Can,
whenever
can,
the infected came over, I was like, ambil makan.
And I'm like, I was so bored. Like, Ellie, she could collect these cool cards and cool cards. But then Abby
is like duit
shilling je. Macam what? Duit shilling je. Bosannya kan. Macam, I mean, even though I knew the story was because it was about her father, but I don't care. You become immature.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, bodoh mampu siapa suruh all of that just came out of me. And then I eventually finished the game, of course, because I was happy that during the last part of the game that you get to play as Ellie, and then you were like, oh yeah, I play as Ellie again. And then the game ended, and then rasa macam okay.
Yeah, like something something was trying to be said.
Yeah, I was like, am I supposed to be sad? Macam at that point aku rasa macam, oh, she didn't kill Abby, and then aku macam, okay, is this supposed to happen? Macam ni dah habis ke? Until I decided to play it again. So that's when I realized that there's so much development or de-development. There's a lot of progression and de-progression for both characters, both Ellie and Abby. How I realized that Ellie slowly loses her humanity until the end. Like for her, she will not stop. Doesn't matter what. Dia nak jumpa Abby ni sampai dapat. She will even use her immunity to her own advantage. It doesn't matter. And you see how, and then in contrast, Abby, you look at Abby, how she was this person on a rampage of revenge, slowly finds humanity. After seeing those two kids. Those two kids sort of is the turning point for her. So, but we're on the side of Ellie all this while. The person who digressed.
And that's why I'm saying, I think part of the biggest theme of the game is conflicted lah. Like typical pop culture terms, you're supposed to be on Ellie's side, but it's like they're trying to make Thanos being relatable, but in the next level, very next level, because you literally can play as Thanos, in this case Abby, and I think it's pretty amazing, pretty ballsy, and I can't imagine how tough it was behind the scene, and also when you actually play the game, macam ni barai ni memang to convince your team, to convince your sales team, your investors that this is the game that we're going to do, and macam commercial sense memang jangan buat tapi dia buat juga.
It's like if I'm a commercial guy, I was like, what happened to Joel? You killed Joel so early. I mean, we have to play as this Abby. But it worked. It worked. I mean, I do want to play again. I mean,
me too.
I've played Naughty Dog games in the past, like the 4 Uncharted games, and then the Lost Legacy. I mean, Uncharted 2 was the best in my opinion, out of all the 4. But I just played once. I just played it once. But this, I played it second time, and it made me feel like I want to play it again. I don't know. It's like it never happened to me, at least. So yeah.
Kena tanya Sufian dulu
Gameplay
review.
I think sebenarnya best je. Cuma I je lah yang tak biasa. And then especially part, opening your inventory in real time tu. I think that's the first time for me kot. What other games can I compare it to? Oh, Tomb Raider, yeah. Because that one also you have to like scavenge for stuff, and then you have to like craft and whatnot. Tapi yang tu
tak rasa.
Oh, that one I don't think she could craft things on the fly like Ellie.
Because her name is already Lara Croft.
Brain fart.
Ellie has to create it on the fly. Both Ellie and Abby. And that's how the gameplay. That's how the gameplay is from the first game anyway, right?
Tapi benda tu macam like it adds to the pressure and the stress lah. Especially bila benda tu is like right around the corner. And then you're like opening your purse. I gotta make the.
So while dogs chasing after you.
Anjing.
Yeah, I was just like lying down in the grass and like making a silencer.
I think the gameplay is immersive. It's stressful. I mean,
I think it's meant to be stressful. Kan?
Stressful, especially when you're overwhelmed by enemies and stuff like that. I mean, but which is I'm never good at stealth. Because I'm already used to that whole, okay, I got guns, I got bullets, let's go.
Like how I was.
Until you realize, pump, ka-chak, 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 shit. Then you have to like, I mean, the gameplay is simple enough actually. I mean, you just gotta find, tall grass, hide in the grass. There's a box, hide behind the box. I mean, you just gotta, and then when you are up against the infected, the clicker, you just gotta, pace your way in slowly.
It's surprisingly simple.
Yeah.
But it's just, I guess it's the nuance that the animation and the timing.
Exactly. It's like
Small little things,
how they designed the whole thing. It's a very blocked level, isn't it? You play this at this block, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can decide to kill everyone or not, or kill partially, and then go to that door, and then you will go to the next part of the level.
I mean, it's simple. The keyword is survive.
Survive. That's it.
It's simple, you know.
When I played the first time, I wanted to look at everything, the little details. I think that's what.
Like all the notes.
Yeah, which you never read anyway.
Boring.
Boring.
It would be boring for the viewers too.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's all those little details that you can actually, understand what happened to this town, what happened to this community. Which goes to the story of the people, which I thought it's gonna be part of the main story. Actually, I really thought we're gonna be invested more with Isaac from the WLF side. I thought we're gonna know a bit more about this female prophet of the Seraphite. I thought we're gonna have a bit more, story on these guys, but actually, maybe they're smart in that sense that they use that as a plot device. That I'm actually fully invested in the kids, the Lev and Yara. I'm actually fully invested in them. But at the end of the day, it's not really. It's just a plot driver. So I thought that was smart on that on their side. But at the same time, I do really want to know more about those factions, which you can actually read through the notes. Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to like.
There's a channel on YouTube which this guy will tell us about the story of the groups by going through the notes.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when you read the notes, you're supposed to when you read the notes, and then you look back at the environment around you, whether it's a kitchen or a restaurant, then you can tell, there's a bunch of children who try to survive, but then you can see bodies of children. So every level that you go that you speed through, you didn't bother to look around. There's a story behind it.
Remember that guy? You went through the cracked door, and then
then he jumped on me.
Yeah, that's Boris. He was he turned into a stalker. Stalker is a second level infected, by the way. Before they turned into a clicker. So what happened was, before he got infected, he was the #1 clicker killer in that neighborhood.
So that's so ironic.
So after you kill him, I mean, if you're playing the story for the first time, you actually get to keep his bow. That's when you get the bow and arrow.
You get the bow from him.
That's when you get the bow and arrow.
Because when you open it, didn't you see all the dummies that you can practice your arrow on?
Oh, the one on outside. So that's the reason.
Sumber ada sebab bro. Ada sebab bro.
Ada sebab.
Almost every single level.
Yeah.
Almost every single level mesti ada.
That attention to detail.
The attention to detail is really crazy. I really love it. And then in that community, the same community also, Boris is on this revenge about his daughter who spray painted that WLF. Her daughter got killed because of that. So that's why dia pun against this WLF. So again, these are the details that if you really are fully invested in the game, which I think that's why you took your time playing.
So it's like the backstory, the lore behind the scenes kind of thing. Shit, that's so cool.
And then the character, I think Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker did an awesome job playing. I mean, I think they just carried the character. I think they pretty much are the characters, right? So I love the voice acting in this game. It's super realistic. It's super believable, and I mean, you have to take into consideration that they also provided the mocap for the character.
The voice
Did they
actors
still
themselves.
use because in the first game they use mocap as reference only, but they still animated frame by frame traditionally. But do they still use that?
I don't know. I didn't really go through, but they probably do the same also. But maybe there's a bit more advancement because there's a lot of showing off with the guitar animation, with the fingers and stuff like that. I mean, the facial expression is super real. Macam, holy shit. You know, when Ellie was super pissed and super sad, they were mourning about the death of Joel when she was talking to Tommy that night. Dia macam, man, I mean, she it's like she wanted to be angry but she couldn't, and that whole facial expression was super crazy. And then right at the end, before the credit runs, when she talked to Joel about she wanted to try to forgive Joel about lying to her about her immunity and all that, and then she said, I would like to try, and then you can see Joel macam tersebak sikit, and I'm like, oh, that little small details, and then he's trying to hide his tears from Ellie.
Tapi dia cantik.
Dia macam dia cover dengan minum kopi lah. Dia masa tu minum kopi dia macam
I think what's very, very, very interesting from a writer's perspective is that, like I said, people got upset with the game simply because they were supposed to.
Oh, so that is the correct response lah.
The correct response.
The
correct response, because it's so detailed in a sense that like how we were like, screw Abby, I don't want to play as Abby. The characters were like that with their enemies, Where there's dialogues between the characters where Dina asks Ellie, why do you think the wolves are like this? Doesn't matter, I'm gonna kill them. Dia macam dia terus dia deny lah macam kita.
That's
Ellie. And Abby pun sama, when people say, when Owen said, they're seraphites, they're people too. Whatever, they're just a bunch of cults. Abby,
they're a bunch of crazy cults.
They're macam judgmental, no communication, and we were like that for Abby,
I see.
So it's very, very meta, and I think it's very interesting that not everyone sort of gets the point. Like they tak move on.
From when Joel died.
They tak move on from, like, we see like Ellie tries to forgive, but the audience never really forgave. So it's, and you can see this consistently throughout the whole game, from the small notes to the side plot driven of the Seraphites versus the Wolves. Memang, I think it's a great case study for studying audiences, reaction, and game development, story development. Macam
Betul.
very interesting lah. Macam bagus.
Yeah. I also want to talk about the NPCs. It's like they talk to each other. I mean, I'm pretty sure other games are like this because I don't play a lot of games anyway. I like the fact that they also injected a human part in them as well. Doesn't matter if it's the WLF or the Seraphite. Is that if their friends got killed, let's say when we kill the NPC, the enemy NPC, and then their friends saw it, and then they would call out the name of their friends. It's like, no,
Skylar, no,
Skylar, no,
Sufyan, no.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I thought that was a bit f***ed up juga.
Because it shows that diorang ni pun manusia juga.
Yes.
I mean, imagine if they have their own game kan. Skylar, the lust of everyone or something.
The lust of everyone.
Brain fart.
There's been a lot of trends towards strong female characters or strong female leads this time around, and Ellie and Abby being these figure or icons of strong female characters.
I mean, personally, if you ask me, and I'm sure when the team behind the game was writing, it's just a story about people. It doesn't matter if it's what the agenda is, whether it's about female lead or something more political. I don't want to get into that. But it's just a story about people, and I accept it in that sense. You know?
That's true.
And by the end of the day, for me, it's their culture. I understand it in that sense. I understand that it's their culture and our culture is different, but yet two cultures collide, we can understand each other. Which is the game is all about. You're supposed to communicate and talk to each other, and that's why I think about the whole female lead role. I mean, I'm kind of sad with the whole people judging. People saw Abby's character design, they just straight away judge the character without playing the game.
Even I couldn't see it that way. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to look at, but the fact that they're body shaming a fictional character
for being muscular.
Because just because she's a female. I mean, when I say muscular, she's really muscular. She's like Arnold or something like that.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
But she's been body shamed. Can you imagine body shaming a 3D character? Dah tak ada life kot.
Kelakar
gila, macam bodoh.
But if you play the game, you understand why her body is like that. It's because she lived her entire life filled with anger and revenge.
So because her father got killed by Joel.
And the way she coped with that is by fully transforming her into,
like, it's her coping mechanism.
Because like I can imagine, like, she's been she's been imagining this day of killing Joel her whole life. Like she builds up her muscle to be like that. So I mean, that's great character. Very deep lah.
Yeah. That final battle between Abby and Ellie.
I was very uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
Very uncomfortable.
It's like if you really at that point, right? I mean, I was playing the second time. When I was playing it the first time, my goal is just to win, basically. but by playing it the second time, you felt uneasy. Macam it's like kalau ada orang like a bunch of Malaysians gaduh-gaduh and you would say, dah lah cukup lah.
Yeah.
Come on lah, dah. You won lah, dude. You won.
It's like you're seeing your family fighting.
Yeah.
Because you've played as both characters as Abby and Ellie.
Yeah. And exactly, because you've spent enough time with them, right? And then it came to this point where they're like fighting to the death.
Yeah.
And you were like, is she gonna kill? And then I was like, is Lev gonna live? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, you just want them to stop, because both characters lost everything. Like Abby lost all of her friends. Ellie technically for me is in the bad side because she had a family, then she left it all for revenge.
That was that point I was at. When she was when she decided to go based on Tommy's tip off, and then she was like, and at that point at the farm, I thought the game ended. I thought this is like gonna be a build up for the third game or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she decided to go to Santa Barbara, and I'm like, oh come on. I mean, Dina,
let go lah.
Yeah. She just couldn't let go at that time. She just couldn't. That's her problem actually. Again, she couldn't let go.
And it's like, I mean, if you want to put it into pop culture wise, it's basically from the first game, from a story about becoming a hero, and the sequel is becoming an anti-hero. So it's, and when I say anti-hero, it's like really, it's in there. Almost villain, almost really
bordering
villain,
being a villain.
And I think that's what people kind of, especially the general audience, the emotional audience, they can't really accept that yet. But I guarantee you, in time, it will be.
So this game is ahead of its time, lah.
Ahead of its time.
I agree.
In a world filled with cinematic universes and sequels, this game really just screw it, just do it.
Pretty ballsy.
Really, really ballsy. Yeah.
Ooh, I like balls.
Brain fart.
So anyways, that's been a good discussion. So thanks for that, and do let us know on what else we can do in the future episode. We do have one guy coming in pretty soon, and we hope you like his story. But aside from that,
don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Comment,
like the
that.
video. Yeah,
Share it with your
help us
friends.
a lot.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yes,
because it gives us motivation.
Yeah.
We live for likes.
Yes.
And subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Please.
So we'll see you in the next episode, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice
day.
day.